Welcome back, everyone. This is the new project. I just picked this thing up last night. Haven't had a chance to go over it yet. This is a Yamaha Yz426 competition. It's a decent sized bike. It's about as, I think it's the biggest motor. Actually, I think they may go for 450s now. But it's a pretty popular bike. I guess it's pretty fast. I don't know because I bought it in this condition. I don't really know much about it. As you can see here, there wasn't any handlebars on it when I went to pick it up last night, and the guy said he had a pair in his truck, so he threw them on because I really had no way of strapping it down in the back of my truck without handlebars on it. So he threw the handlebars on there. I guess they're Pro Taper. Not a bad pair of bars, all in all. But I think we'll just use them. And I think I'm just going to go over the bike right now, see what's wrong with it, see what it might need, because I have no idea. It's a basket case with parts and boxes. I don't know if everything's here. I don't know if it's missing stuff. So let's go through it together. So it looks like, first off, it's gonna need a new throttle sleeve. This one's cracked and broken, so I need to replace that. Let's see. This brake here looks okay. I won't know until I try. I mean, this clutch lever looks okay. Should be able to use it. The perch seen better days. We'll take a look at that. Master cylinders here, looks like it's in good shape. I can't tell if there's fluid in it or not. Looks like there is. The lever obviously is taking a right turn, so we'll need to address that. And realign the bars. The front tire is flat. I don't know if it holds air. It's pretty old. I do see dry rot on it and stuff. It's cracked. It's kind of wobbly. I don't know if that's bad bearings or if it needs to get tightened up. I'll have to address that. Radiator's got a dent in it right here. As long as it doesn't leak, I'll just go with it. The side cover's off. He said there was a broken stud in the clutch basket, which there is. It's missing right here. It broke off, so I need to replace that. So I need to just pull this all off and see what's going on, see how that looks. I'll look all behind here. It's probably going to need to be cleaned up. I'll make sure we're not hiding any demons back there. Who knows? Who knows what's going on back there? I'll pull it all apart and take a look. It looks to me like there's a socket and an extension down inside the spark plug hole and doesn't want to come out, so that'll have to be taken out. The air filter is in one piece, pretty dirty, but I think with the cleaning it's usable. The airbox is there, that's good. Master cylinder's here for the brakes. I don't know if the rear brakes work because the lever's not on. It's got disc brakes in the back. The disc seems okay. The chain. Well, the sprocket's leaning. The teeth are leaning on the sprocket, so it's going to need sprocket in the rear, probably in the front, and the chain feels kind of tight. I don't know. Maybe we'll do chain and sprockets on it as well. This side of the bike looks okay. I mean, it's dark over here and you can't see much, but that's where that's at. And this bike here has the oil reservoir is in the frame, which is pretty wild. Pretty wild. So this is I don't know if I said it, 2001. I don't know if there's a tag on it. Give it a year or not. I don't see it. I just got the heavy duty front forks. They're upside down, like most of the new bikes. So it's not in bad a shape. Not bad a shape. The frame still looks pretty good. The color on the frame is still good. Still looks good. Let's get down into the boxes and see what we got here. So we got the gas tank. I'll have to strip the decals off as they look like they're in rough shape. Came with this guy here, which is a brand new air filter. Yep, brand new air filter for it. Oh, that's cool. All right, well, you put that to use. The exhaust is here, which is good. I'll have to put that back on. Came with a Pro Taper. I don't even know what that is. I'm assuming it goes right here because these bars don't have a cross bar, so I'm assuming it's a pad for the purchase there. We got the seat. The seat doesn't have any tears or rips in it. It's just super dirty. We need to clean that up. The rear fender's here. And that doesn't have any cracks in it or breaks. So that looks pretty good. We'll clean that up. Front fender's here. This doesn't have any breaks or cracks or anything in it either. That just needs a good cleaning. That's good. What do we got in here? We got the front number plate. That seems to be in decent shape. We got one of the radiator shrouds. Unfortunately, it's missing a radiator shroud, so I'm going to have to figure out which one's missing and see if I can pick that up on eBay. I got here, we got the Kickstarter right here. Oil filter for it. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 quarts of motor oil here for the bike, and some miscellaneous screws and such down here, and a tube for the top of the carburetor, top of the tank. Don't even know. Could be a carburetor tube. Who knows? We get the side cover over here. It doesn't look too bad until you see this right here. And it looks to me like that's probably why it was taken off. They didn't do a very good job of welding it. I'm going to have to pick another one of these up. I'm not going to use this. So we're going to have to find a new side cover. It's the top of the clutch. That doesn't look like it's in too bad a shape. It's a clutch cover. This oil filter cover. And it looks to me like we're missing the spring that's supposed to go in there, which is great. So I'll have to pick that up. Clutch plates. Let's see what we got here for clutch plates. It should be 8. Let's see what's inside of this. Here's some more parts. This looks like that's for the rear brake. And these are the clutch springs. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're missing 2 of those. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're missing a spring and we're missing 2 screws. So those are going to have to get ordered. These are the bolts for the side cover and the oil filter. And the spring is missing, which is not a good thing, I think. Most bikes have springs that hold this in. Maybe this one doesn't. I don't know. Usually they do. Usually they do. So I'll have to look into it. So that's where we're at right now. I think what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to go through this bike and find out exactly, and do a parts list, find out exactly what's missing. Oh, we also got this with it too. Complete gaskets. Obviously I don't think it's complete anymore, but it's an engine gasket set and it's supposed to be for this bike. So we got some gaskets too. Anyway, should be a fun project. I can't wait to start getting into it. I pulled the clutch housing off and I can pretty much see why we had a failure here. it looks like the Kickstarter ratchet stop, somehow the Kickstarter got stuck or got caught, but it did tear and crack the case right there. This really isn't that big a deal. I can fix that with some JB Weld, and I might even be able to drill these deeper and tap them with a flat bottom tap and use longer screws plus a JB Weld. Should be fine, but that is why the side cover's off, and it's also why the basket's broken, and there's a screw snapped off in there, you can see. So I need to get a new basket. I don't know what's going on here. This is some kind of backyard rigging here. Piece of sheet metal somebody cut out to put on there to make up a gap or something. I don't even know. I'll go online and see if I can purchase that part. It's probably bent or worn out or something. I'll probably get it from Potzilla. So I'm gonna have to figure that piece out. Source that. That piece looks good. This piece needs to be replaced. Kickstart mechanism looks good. I don't really see any damage on that. This gear is okay. I don't know if this was put together properly. I'm gonna have to look at the exploded view online, see if it's missing spaces or washers or anything. It needs a good cleaning. I do see there's pieces of aluminum in there that need to be cleaned out before this thing runs again. So I'm not believing that this guy said he drove it around his yard a couple of times and then decided he wanted to fix everything that was wrong with it. I'm not buying that story now. I'm buying the story that this thing blew up on him and he took it apart, got in over his head, and bailed. So I'm hoping the top end's good. He said it has hot cams in it. I notice it does have the decompression right here, lever. So I don't think this is an 01. This must be an 02. Might even be newer. I'm gonna have to check the ID number on it and see what year this actually is. But I think it's newer than an 01 because 01s didn't have the decompression. So I'll look into that. And this thing needs a serious cleaning. It is absolutely filthy. Unfortunately, with the engine open, I can't do much about it. So I'll have to work on it dirty. Try to till I get this engine seal back up, and then I'll be able to wash it. I'm gonna do a little bit more. I think I'm gonna put the handlebars back together. I'm gonna put everything on there so that when I do get this back together, I can run it. So I'm gonna do that off camera. I'm gonna do it now. A little before and after. I cleaned up this side of the fork. Basically, I used simple green degreaser and little pieces of Scotch-Brite pad. And I cleaned up the handlebars, the perch, the levers, the rubber, the lines. I used the Scotch-Brite pad on everything. And as you can see, it looks very, very nice. I don't see any leaks in the fork seals. That's good. If you want a comparison, this is what it looked like before. There's sort of like a green, mildewy hint, I don't know, hue to it. It looks like overspray got on the cables and the perches and all that stuff, but it's coming right off with the Scotch-Brite pad. And as you can see here, it's just super dirty. So this looks so much nicer. All right, so I just want to give you guys an idea of what a little bit of elbow grease will do. You can see the frame. Frame looks much better now that I cleaned it. I took a tap and I ran them down into these holes here. You can see that piece just broke off. I'm going to JB weld that. So what I did was I looked up online and tried to figure out why this homemade piece of metal was in behind that, and trying to figure out what was missing. So what I figured out was that you're supposed to have this piece here as well as another piece, which is this piece here. This piece here is no longer manufactured and you cannot buy it. I looked everywhere online, couldn't find it, nobody had it. The only way I could get it is if I bought a case, because some of the cases still had them in it. But that's about it. They don't make it, no one carries it. So I made this myself. I have a piece of steel and a 50-ton press. I bent the angle on it. I made slots because it was kind of a guesstimate where I was going to make that bend, and this has to sit on top of that ledge right there, which is like this right here. So you can see it. It sits right on top of that ledge. And what essentially it does is these two pieces bolt together, and they look like that. And the striker, which is right here, basically hits it like that. So that's how it works. So I think I found out the reason why this thing blew up. So I think somebody might have broke the Kickstarter shaft at one point, and either bought a rebuild kit and replaced it and didn't time the spring right. And I'll tell you why. Because this little guy back here, and you can see, let me get you a little more light. So back in here, right here, these are the pieces that I put in. And this is supposed to come down, you can see it, and rest inside those. And I'll show you how this works. So let me just put this spring back in here. Now with this spring in here, there's no spring pressure on that right now. And I'm pretty sure that this has to be seated against that when the kickstart is all the way in the up position. Right now it's not. It's kind of hanging there. And because of that, this gear isn't spinning free. And I'll show you what I mean. Let me put the side cover back on and show you what I found out. So side cover's back on. It's just sitting on there. It's not bolted or anything. I got the Kickstarter just slid on here. So I just did this to show you guys what's going on here. So in here you can see the two pieces that I put together. The back one's the one I made, and the front one the one that was in there. And they had that half-ass spacer in there. So as you can see, when it's all the way up, it sits flush with the bottom piece that I've made, and that angled piece forces it back. And what that does is, when the kickstart is on, you can't. It ratchets one way, but it won't move the other way because it has a one-way ratchet on it. And if I don't know if I can do this to show you. So when you kick it down, if I hold that, that's the sound you're supposed to hear. That's the one-way ratchet. Now you can see there's not enough spring pressure for this Kickstarter to go all the way back up to the top, right? And because of that, this gear doesn't spin free. It's supposed to spin free. Once you kick the bike over and you bring it back up, it's supposed to spin free like that, okay? Now when that spacer wasn't in there, this wasn't spinning free. And I think what happened was it caught, and it ended up forcing that thing down, and it kicked this thing out, and it ended up snapping the case. So this spring right here, see how loose that is? That isn't right. So I need to clock that spring. So I need to take it apart, kick it back a few spline teeth, put it back together, and then try it again. So I'll show you how I'm going to do that. Okay, here's the gear. I'm going to remove this clip. Take the washer off, take the spring out, and then this guy here is on a spline. And I'm going to clock this so that I can get a little bit more spring out of that. So what I want to do is I want to take it and move it down 2 splines. And I think that'll do it. Actually, you know what? I'm going to get 1 more spline. I want to make sure that this thing works. So I'm going to put the spring back on, put the washer back on, and I'm going to put the clip back on. Back together again. One of the things I want to tell you is that I put it in and I gave it a quick test, and I had to move it 4 more splines. So in total it was off 7 splines. So when you, I guess what you want to, I know it's called clocking the spring, but it was off 7 splines, which is no bueno. So that's why this thing blew up, and I'll show you what it's supposed to do. So if you look in here, you see the gear. See, right now it's freewheeling, and when you bring it down, it kick starts, and then when you come back up, it's supposed to freewheel, just like that. That way there, this is always freewheeling while the motor's running. See? And then, if you kick it down, and the motor doesn't start, you'll hear this sound when it comes up. And that's what you're supposed to hear. And then it freewheels again. So now the spring is clocked right. And I know what happened. This thing didn't disengage, and because it didn't disengage, it forced that little pin right there, that lever down. It broke the screws off, and it cracked the case in the back. This is a pretty big, powerful engine. This is a 426, so there's a lot of torque behind it, and when that caught, it just grenaded basically. This will fix it. I'll put some JB weld on it. I'll put some Loctite on the screws. I might need to get new screws because the screws are bent too. I'm probably going to order those from Podzilla, but that's it. That's how you. I'm glad I figured out what was wrong with it. It's not going to happen again. So that's a beautiful thing. I got some parts on order. I ordered a whole clutch assembly online because that's got a broken stud in it. There's a broken screw in that hole. Here's missing the clutch pusher that goes inside of here. That pushes the clutch in and out. It's missing that. That's coming with the clutch assembly. So to buy the parts individually, you can't even buy the clutch pusher anymore. Yamaha doesn't make it, so you have to buy it used. Anyway, that's where we're at. So what I'm gonna do is I'll probably just leave this together, keep the dirt out of it. I'll probably put that side cover back on too, and I guess I'll get back to it when I get some parts in. Next up, I'm gonna clean the fenders, get all the dirt off everything, and basically see what I got here. So I'm gonna start with the front fender and the seat and the rear fender. I'll probably do the other stuff later, and then I'm probably gonna put the fenders on the bike. So let me clean them up and see if I can locate the screws for them, and then throw them on the bike, and then show you what it looks like. All the plastics on the bike. I finally get a chance to see what this thing looks like. Pretty cool looking bike. From what I understand, these things are pretty powerful bikes. They're pretty quick. They're race ready, and they're also trail friendly because they got a lot of torque. So I'm pretty excited about finishing this and taking it for a ride. What I've done so far is I put all the plastics on just so I can get a look at what it looks like. I took the decals off the tank and the shroud. I'll show you on this side. The decal's still on the tank. I'm going to take that decal off. I ordered the shroud for this side. It was missing. So I ordered that. That's in the mail. I haven't ordered the side number plates yet. I'm just waiting for the right deal to come along on those. There's a set on Marketplace right now. We'll let them sit there for a while, and then I'll throw a low number at it. See if I get them cheap. The forks, I cleaned the forks all up, the triple trees, everything. I mean, I polished them. They look really nice. That's about the only thing that I really cleaned so far. The wheels need to be cleaned. They're still pretty disgusting. I need to get wheel bearings for the front wheel. The swing arm needs to be cleaned. The rear wheel needs to be cleaned. And I need to clean the engine. I just need to give this thing a good pressure washing, but I can't do anything until I get the engine back together. So let me just show you where it's at right now. I did a few things off camera. I got the broken case fixed with JB Weld. I put the Kickstarter in. It's not interfering with anything. I put a new bolt in here. It's a lot longer to catch the small amount of threads that I had on the back side of the brake. I retapped this, put a new screw in there. I have the new positive stop in there that I had fabricated myself because I couldn't buy it. And everything is set to go there. The recoil spring is clocked properly and all set to go. This here is the case that's broke and they welded. I got this on order. It's in the mail. Should be here in a couple of days. And I should be able to start assembling. Let me show you what happened. So I ordered, come over here. I ordered a new inner basket because that was broken off. And basically I went online, I found a whole clutch assembly from a guy in Florida. So I ordered it, it came. This is the basket that came. Let me show you what's wrong with it. This is the first time I bought anything off of eBay that was junk. You can see here that this you can see that moving right there. That's not supposed to move, and you can see that it got all gouged up because it had been moving like this, wiggling around and stuff, and it's basically junk. It should look like that. It should be nice and clean, solid. So it's no good. I went looking further into it. He said that the clutch was it was all usable stuff. You can see the discs are burnt. The clutch this is what they're supposed to look like, nice and clean. These are the ones that I had taken off. The clutch plates look good. These clutch plates, they look burnt. That ring is burnt. These pressure plates are all burnt. I'll show you something else. This here, you can hear it rattling. That's all worn out. This is the one that I took off the bike. Nice and solid. So basically none of this was usable. So as soon as I got the package in the mail, I opened it. I noticed all these problems. I got back in touch with the guy on eBay. He was bummed out that he sent me parts that were no good. He thought they were good. He said this clutch had been sitting on his shelf for a couple of years. The post on eBay was a couple of years old. So when I purchased it, he just bagged it up and shipped it. He didn't know that it had issues, and he apologized, and he wanted to fully refund my money. I talked to the guy. He was pretty cool. He's got his own shop. He says he fixes motorcycles and dirt bikes for people. This bike, he had a 426 come in that was it was just completely worn out. He ended up buying it off the guy and potting it out. And he kind of had a feeling that the way he wasn't surprised that the clutch was bad considering how bad the bike was. So he apologized. He wanted to refund me all my money. And after talking to him, I'm like, you know what? Whatever it costs you to ship it, just take that off the... Just recoup your shipping costs. I know you're in business. I don't want you to lose any money. And he appreciated it. And we had a good talk about different bikes and different repairs that we've done over the years and whatnot. And cool guy. Anyways, he refunded my money. And I found one of these baskets online, the center basket, and I ordered it. And now that's got to just waiting for that to come. So in the meantime, and I ordered these off another guy on eBay, which is the push bearing, push rod, and clutch lever. I don't think I'm going to need that stuff. My stuff looks good, so I'll probably end up having to. I'll probably end up relisting this to sell it, because this clutch came with a push bearing anyway, and it came with the ball bearing, which kind of bums me out because I ordered 2 ball bearings as well. So I'm going to have extra clutch parts. I'll probably just list them on eBay and sell them. But that's where we're at right now, and I'm going to cut this off here. There's plenty of content here, plenty of video for part 1. This will end up being most likely a 2-part series. Part 2 to come. I want to thank everybody for watching. Subscribe, tell your friends about it. Hit the thumbs up notification, leave comments if you have any. I'll be happy to answer them. I try to answer every single comment as soon as they come in. Sometimes it might be a day or 2 before I get to it, but I do answer them all. Again, thanks for watching.